Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the 3 Minute Horror Show. My name is Ben, I'm your host, and I'm back here with Brandon from Brandon vs. Movies. We've done lots of film analysis before, and we are continuing on with our exploration of the Leprechaun series. We are doing Leprechaun 2 today from 1994, directed by a guy with a very funny name, Rodman Flender. I've never heard of him before, but in the UK, this one actually has a different name. It's called One Wedding and Lots of Funerals. That's interesting, don't you think? That they gave
Yeah,
it a
I
different
read
name in the
that.
UK?
It's a funny name, but it's like, why not? So it's the sequel to Leprechaun. Call it Leprechaun 2.
Yeah.
Although um, Four Weddings and a Funeral was a famous British movie from that
Yeah,
era, so they just decided to do a play on that. But
I guess
yeah,
so.
interesting
Pretty
title.
funny either way. But Brandon, why don't you get us started on Leprechaun 2?
So Leprechaun 2 is I haven't seen these movies. It's probably been 15 years since I've actually watched all of them. But growing up, when I watched them multiple times, part two was always my favorite. I actually like it better. And even rewatching them now, I liked it better than the first one. As we go through the series, we'll see if it still stands up as my favorite. But I liked it better than the first one. They changed tactic. The first one was the leprechaun's gold was stolen. He wants his gold back. Now it opens with a scene in ancient Ireland, like 1,000 years ago,
Yeah.
and the leprechaun has like a slave guy with him, and he intends to marry this slave's daughter. Of course, the slave doesn't want that to happen, so he sabotages the whole thing, and the leprechaun basically goes dormant for 1,000 years with swearing that when he comes back, he's going to find this young woman's ancestor and marry them.
Yeah.
So the whole point is, and I don't quite understand. Somehow he's now in America. Um,
Oh, I can tell you that.
yeah.
So Harry Houdini, the famous illusionist slash escape artist, had an ancient tree from Kilcarney, Ireland, transplanted and brought to his mansion to his front yard. And it just so happens that this particular tree from Kilcarney, Ireland, is the portal that opens up into the Leprechaun's labyrinth den.
Okay. So there you
Yeah,
go. So
there you go. That's how it
so it
happened.
just happened that this tree happened to wind up in the exact same town where this descendant 1,000 years ago from Ireland happened to live. Like, okay, if you can get over that ridiculous premise, the movie is a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So he tracks this young woman down, and shenanigans ensue. And then, of course, there's also the they steal his gold type stuff going on. What's interesting about this movie is that they apparently filmed an entire movie, and it was very different. There's a main couple in this, and there's like a love interest guy, and they
hmm,
do touch on that a little bit, the whole love triangle thing. Apparently, in the original one, they were trying to really aim this at teenagers, so the whole thing was this teenage love story. I guess the studio watched it, they hated it, and they basically reshot like 75% of the movie. They
Oh
got
wow.
rid of that storyline with a lot of trying on the teenagers, and they replaced it with the main teenager and his uncle running the creepy horror tour
Yeah.
thing. So originally the movie was supposed to be completely different. Then they rewrote it, reshot it, jumbled everything together. So the story is a little bit disjointed. But what they turned out with, I actually like it. It it's fun. They had a bigger budget, more stuff happens. There's more kills, more locations. It seemed like a step up from the first one. What did you think?
I thought it was a little bit stepped down. I thought it was really good. You'll hear my review, or you'll hear my rating at the end. It was still a good movie. But it's definitely not my favorite one. I like the first one a little bit more than this one. Uh, they got a little bit fast and loose with the rules, but that's something that's going to continue. And the next one, I think, blows this one out of the water. But because the next one is just insanity. But um, like Brandon said, the leprechaun now lives in Los Angeles in a tree, and it's his thousandth birthday. And as his next thousandth birthday pops up, It just so happens that Cody, the main kid, and this girl Bridget, who is the descendant, the most attractive female descendant of this slave in the past 1,000 years, happen to be going past this house, and that wakes that just happens to wake the guy up. He smells this girl. He smells his prey in the area, and his little leprechaun boner wakes him up, and he decides that he's going to go get his prize. And luckily, also, it's St. Patrick's Day. So on St. Patrick, maybe that was on purpose that his birthday is on St. Patrick's Day because he's a leprechaun. Maybe all leprechauns. Oh, here's another question. Is this the same leprechaun from the first movie or a different leprechaun and they all just look the same?
It's hard to say. My opinion, it's the exact same one.
Yeah.
However, when we get to part 4 in space,
Yeah.
it looks like the exact leprechaun, played by the same actor, talks the same, but it's clearly not because he's not even really a leprechaun. He's like an alien from another planet. So it's
Yeah.
obviously a different entity.
I
So
wonder
my
if the
thoughts is it's the same one.
okay. Because if it were, this guy woke up in the 90s in Jennifer Aniston's house. So he wouldn't be
There is, yeah. I guess
yeah.
now that you mention it,
I think
that
they might just be different leprechauns and they all look and sound the same.
that could be, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you mention
Or
it,
maybe
yeah,
they are all aliens and they explained it in the fourth one. Who knows?
yeah. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe this is like a prequel to
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. So, the wakes the leprechaun up. It's St. Patrick's Day, so a leprechaun can walk the streets of Los Angeles and no one bats an eye because it's St. Patrick's Day. So he's just walking around like it's nothing, and nobody even questions him. It's all good. Um, Bridget and Cody go to the racetrack to hang out with a guy named Ian, and this must be the love triangle bit.
Yeah.
This Ian guy, because Cody and Bridget have a fight. And Cody takes off because he has to go work with his uncle on doing the tour, and Ian and Bridget stay around. Then Ian tries to get in Bridget's pants, but she says no. She pushes him away because she still feels for Cody. She doesn't want to mess things up with him. Um, and then comes probably my favorite part in this movie, which is when Bridget calls Ian from the other room to come and join her, and she's there with the guns out. She's got her boobs out, and she wants him to come and give him a kiss or give her a kiss, but it's the leprechaun doing the voice of Bridget, and Bridget is actually a lawnmower, so he kisses a lawnmower that's on.
I think it's like a fan, isn't it? Some kind of fan
Something
with a
with a
cover.
spinning blade. I thought it was a
Yeah.
lawnmower. Maybe it's something
Oh,
else. Maybe it's a whippersnipper or something. But either way, this thing's got a spinning blade, and he just sticks his face right in it, which is probably one of the it's probably the funniest one in this movie.
yeah. That part was great. This one has a lot of, I would say, a lot of good kills, but like the one you mentioned
Yeah,
in the last review where the uncle gets greedy and wants he wants the leprechaun's gold, so he wishes for more gold. So the leprechaun gives it to him, but the gold appears in his stomach. So all of a
yeah,
sudden he has this big distended stomach. He's like, "Get it out of me! Get it out of me!" And leprechaun's like, "Okay," rips his stomach open
yeah.
and takes the gold out. Yeah, so like, it's got some good kills. They had a bit more money for a bit more of a higher budget to do the kills and a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that the uncle is actually played by the same guy. I don't know his name, but in Seinfeld, he played Jack Klumpus, who, whenever Jerry would go to Florida to visit his parents,
Oh,
this
okay.
Jack Klumpus guy was one of the other guys there that the guy was interacting with. That's where I know him from.
One of the old
And he
guys.
kind of
Okay.
stole the show. I could see why the producers were like, all this other stuff you shot with the teenagers not so interesting,
Yeah.
but this like old guy playing the drunken uncle was actually kind of amusing, so they put him in it more.
Yeah, he kind of felt
Um,
like one of those old Hollywood guys. And this one
yeah,
is like they definitely did have a bigger budget. The fact that they shot it in Los Angeles and Hollywood, it shows that probably cost a pretty penny to be able to
yeah,
even film there. Plus the effects that they did for this one too. A little bit later on, the Cody and Bridget. Bridget gets stolen by the leprechaun, and Cody goes into his lair to try and find him. And that part was pretty cool too, like the way that they did his little maze of a lair. I thought that was pretty awesome.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they try more with this. I wouldn't say it's high budget, but
Yeah.
they had more to work with, so you could just have more cool stuff. And they added some other elements, some magical things that weren't in there before. They got rid
Yeah.
of the whole if the leprechaun sees a pair of shoes, he has to polish them. They got
Yeah.
rid of that, but also they added in, oh, if he touches wrought iron, he's gets burned, so you
You get
instantly know that that's going to come into play later. There are some good parts. There's a part at a bar, which is weird because this bar is full. Um, I don't want to use the wrong term, so we'll say little people.
yeah.
Um, the bar is full of like little people. I don't think St. Patrick's Day is a time of year where you see more little people than you do on any other day.
No, I've been around for nearly 50 years, and I don't think I've seen more dwarves on St. Patrick's Day than other days.
Yeah, but there is probably like 10 of them in this one bar, all dressed as leprechauns. So, which I don't think is a thing, but whatever. For this movie, it is. And it also brings up the question. Of course, that leads. It's like, oh, the real leprechaun can blend himself in because
Yeah.
he's one of many. But this leprechaun, the main one, does not look human. No one seems to notice that this thing is not human.
Yeah.
It's either a guy in some very good makeup, but it's not like a mask because his lips are moving. No one seems to notice what the hell is this thing. It's not a human.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's in a bar, and it's one of my favorite parts that I always remember from that movie where the main guy goes to the bathroom. The young guy comes back out, sits with his uncle, and his uncle's staring at something. And he's like what's wrong? What are you staring at? And the uncle's like,
He's here.
and then they show what he's looking at, and you see there's a bunch of people at the bar, but the leprechaun's just sitting at the end of the bar, glaring at them and sipping a drink. And then the uncle challenges the leprechaun to a
Yeah.
drinking
To a
contest.
drinking contest that the leprechaun loses. I couldn't believe that. Like you got to figure this is a magical guy who's all about like beer and clover and St. Patrick's Day. He's never gonna beat more. He's never gonna lose to Morty in a drinking contest, but he does.
They even have a slight at there's a part where the leprechaun comes out of the tree and he finds this hobo there and he grabs the hobo's bottle of alcohol, takes a swig of it, and then he spits it out and he's like Canadian Canadian what was it, whiskey or
Rye? Is it rye?
Blended Canadian. The only whiskey is Irish whiskey. Ah.
whatever it was, some sort
Yeah.
of Canadian drink, and he's like, disgusting. He's like, the only kind is the Irish kind.
Yeah.
Um, and these movies, they're just so fun. Like there's so many the drinking contest. There's even a part where he rips the hobo's tooth out because he has like a gold tooth.
Yeah.
There's a part where some like Hollywood casting agent sees him on the street and is like, "Oh, hey, good costume, buddy. Here's my card if you want representation." And then he just like sees the guy's gold ring and like rips his finger off. There's a lot of parts like that where they could just do so much cool stuff.
They did introduce a strange rule in this one that doesn't seem to be consistent even within the same movie. For whatever reason, the leprechaun doesn't seem to be able to harm Cody because he has his gold. But Morty had his gold in his belly and he was able to cut that out. He was able to harm Morty. So I don't understand how that rule works.
I'm thinking it's because and that's another thing that doesn't make sense is that Morty they captured the leprechaun inside a wrought iron safe. They
Yes.
trick him into it, so it's like he's caught in a safe. But Morty gets greedy and he's like, "Oh, leprechauns have to give you 3 wishes," which, as far as I know, is not a thing.
No, that's a genie thing.
Yeah, but I guess it does work that like the leprechaun doesn't have to give him 3 wishes, but he plays along with it to escape. So it's possible that the gold that appears in Morty wasn't the leprechaun's gold; it
Okay.
was some other gold. Maybe that's the
Or it
way
was
they
fake gold or something. I don't know,
or it's
maybe.
fake, but yeah, it does. They never bring that up again. But it kind of defeats the purpose. Like the whole point of the movie is you steal his gold, he kills you for it. But
Yeah.
if he can't kill you if you have his gold, like the movie doesn't work. So yeah, they kind of, I
Yeah.
guess they abandoned that in future episodes because it was
Yeah, because it
kind of
doesn't
weird.
make sense.
I
It
think
was
they
a
just
dumb
needed
plot device.
yeah, it's just, oh shit, what's the reason the leprechaun doesn't kill him here? Oh, how about he can't kill you if you have his gold? Done. and they didn't really think about the consequences of that rule.
Yeah, they invoked that rule when they did a fake out at the end. So when the leprechaun finally has Cody and he believes he's killed Cody, but no, he can't actually harm Cody because Cody has his gold, and so Cody gets him with a wrought iron spike, and that kills the leprechaun in this situation.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it was a rule of convenience this time.
and I did that ending because at part of me, because basically the leprechaun pretends to be the love interest, the girl,
Yeah.
Bridget, looks like her, and it's like, oh, like come here and I'll give you a kiss, and she's like, by the way, do you have that gold coin? And it's like, just give it to me. And it's so obvious that it's not her, it's the leprechaun pretending to be her.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the guy like turns over the coin. I was like, no, come on, like what an idiot. But luckily they redeemed themselves that he knew it was a leprechaun and he gave him a fake gold coin that he got
There's
earlier.
a chocolate one. Oh
Piece of
boy.
chocolate that somehow the leprechaun didn't know that this wasn't real gold. And then and then he stabs him with the wrought iron spike. And then the movie just ends abruptly. And apparently they had like a different ending. I can't remember what it was, but you can read about it on IMDb.
Okay.
Because they're in the leprechaun's lair inside this tree,
Mhm.
and then Bridget and Cody get out, and you see them walking. It looks like a cool, like they're in like a cemetery or something. It's like
Yeah.
this cool shot, and you see him walking, and then it just ends like credits. It just seems like something was going to happen there. Like they had this set up with this cool looking set,
Mhm.
and then for whatever reason they just ended it. It's like, oh, okay, that was weird, but
But it didn't say anywhere what was supposed to happen?
I can't. I think they did on IMDb. I just can't
Okay.
remember what it is
Yeah, I'll
on the
look it
top of
up
my
after.
head. But
Look it up, folks. You can see what was supposed to happen there. Maybe
yeah,
they
so
ran out of money.
it was originally going to be a different movie, and then
Yeah.
they just reshot most of it. Which, from how they describe it, I think it was the best choice because I think they were trying to make it like a teen romance with
Yeah.
Leprechaun involved, which probably would have been pretty crappy. So I'm glad I like the whole thing. I like the uncle. He was
Yeah.
kind of a funny character. It just added to it, and they had a like bit of the teen stuff in there, but not too much. And overall, I just found it like I'd say it's very close in quality to the first one.
Yeah.
I just liked it that there was more kills. There was just more stuff happening, so I liked it in that respect.
Okay. So
And
what
we
would you
also
give it
got,
overall? Sorry?
before we get into our rating,
Yeah.
we did have a appearance by Mike McDonald from Mad TV.
I missed that.
Remember, he was the bartender guy. Remember, and
Okay.
he's
Look what
like
I can
looks
do.
super young. And yeah,
Yeah.
and he was also Little John or Big John in the Halloween Kills movie.
He was Little John, yeah.
Little John.
Yeah.
Yeah, the leprechaun. Remember, it's after the bar scene, after the drinking contest, and then
Yeah.
the leprechaun's the only guy in this bar, and he's sitting there, and then Mike McDonald's like, "Buddy, like we're closing, get the hell out of here!" And
Yeah.
Leprechaun starts threatening him, and of course he doesn't. He's Mike McDonald's like taunting him, and then the leprechaun kills him by like blasting steam in his face and melting his face.
Oh, okay. I do remember that.
Yeah.
This probably would have been at his height of Mad TV as well, in 1994, 1995 time.
Yeah, it would have been right around the same time.
Yeah. Um, One thing that I never understood as well is why walk around Los Angeles looking like a leprechaun when you can make yourself look like anybody and sound like anybody? He could have just
Yeah.
been anybody.
Yeah, he could have been drawing this attention, unless maybe it takes a lot of effort and energy to fake being someone that
Yeah.
you can't do it for too long.
Or maybe he can only fool one person. Maybe that magic works on one person. Because
There we go.
what we've seen previous, like he fooled Ian into thinking he was Bridget, and then he fooled Cody into thinking he was Bridget, but nobody else was there to see it.
Yeah,
So,
that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
That's probably how they just make up their rules as they go, and it's
Yeah.
like, how about this? Yeah, that's good enough. Whatever we need to make the story happen, and just throw any sort of consistency out the window.
back at this point in history, they didn't have to worry about guys like us on the internet overanalyzing everything because
Yeah.
this didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
So what did you give that one overall, would you say?
I would give it, I'd say 7.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're flip-flop this time because the last time I gave it 7 and you gave it 6, and this time you give it 7 and wait, last time I gave it 7, you gave it 6. This time you're giving it 6 and I'm giving it 7.
Okay.
Nope, nope, nope. I flipped it back again. I'm keeping this in too because this is where I get ridiculous when okay. This time you're giving it a 7 and I'm giving it a 6. So we flip-flopped our scores from the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my favorite one in the whole series is the very next one. So,
I'll have to revisit. I think this might be the one I've seen the least. I've only seen it once or maybe twice.
okay.
I have mixed. All I remember is what I remember of it when I was like 18.
Okay.
It's been a long time, so I have to. I remember thinking it was okay, but I'm basically going into it fresh. I'm gonna reassess it, give it a chance, and we'll see. I might end up liking it as even better in part two.
For the folks at home, the first two Leprechaun movies don't really have a theme other than a leprechaun. Every movie after this one has a theme. And number 3 is Vegas. Number 4 is space. And number 5, I believe, is in the hood.
Number
So,
6 is also in the hood.
oh wait, yeah, okay.
Back to the
So
hood.
yeah, back in this, yeah. There's themes after this one, and the next one is Vegas, and it's a lot of fun. It's crazy, and there are even more ridiculous rules that get added into things that completely contradict things that happened in the previous movies in the next one. So have fun, everybody. So this brings us to the end of our discussion of Leprechaun 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to our channels. You can click this click the subscribe button at the bottom of the video, at the bottom of the screen, and you can subscribe to both of our channels at the same time. The buttons will appear right next to each other. You can do it in a second. It costs you $0. So please subscribe to our channels. Come back and join us for more talk about Leprechaun and lots of other movies. If you look through our back catalogs, both on Brandon's channel and my channel, we've got lots of stuff for you to enjoy. So please go ahead and do that, and we'll see you next time.